Hey guys, I thought I would take a few minutes out of my very busy schedule to tell you about this movie I saw. It's called The Northman. And boy, it was a really freaky movie, man. And I expected as such. It's from Robert Eggers, directed The Lighthouse, which was my favorite film of 2020. I made a list a while back, but I'm as you can see, if you're a subscriber, you know that I'm not a regular movie review channel, and the reason is because most movies suck shit. I mean, let's be real here. Most movies are fucking garbage in the modern era. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them, like a hell of a lot more. And this is because movies are cheaper to make now, probably. I mean, they say they're not, but look, when you're animating everything with a computer, it's like, what are you gonna do? And there's a lot of that in this particular movie. That was one of the things I didn't like. I'm gonna get to some of the pluses and minuses. Yeah, but this is Hamlet. That's what this movie is. That's what they don't tell you in the promotion, is that it's Shakespeare's Hamlet. Which, if you've seen The Lion King, you get the basic plot of it. There's a couple differences, but basically this guy's named Amleth, so you already know he's Hamlet. And this is that story taking place in Iceland, which is actually Northern Ireland. That's where they shot this movie. And I just wonder, is it like a Chicago-Toronto thing? Because when people say this movie, we're in Chicago, and it's obviously Toronto, I'm like, dude, I know what you're doing, because I live here, and that looks nothing like Chicago. So I wonder if the ice picks have the same thing, because I've just been to Iceland once, and I could tell, like, that's not quite... you're getting the idea, but it's not quite beautiful enough in many scenes. And the thing about this movie that's so weird, and why I don't get it, was why it was so expensive, is because most of the film takes place in a single location. Now, granted, if I was an investor, I'd be like, okay, this guy wants to get every period detail correct, Robert Eggers, who's a visionary director. He wants to get the fucking costumes right, the rituals right. There's a lot of grunting and, oh, yeah, we're Vikings, bitch. There's a lot of slaughtering villages. There's a couple action scenes that I like that are very well shot. And the mise en scène in this movie is, I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's the technical term for what goes on in the frame. And there's a lot of that in this movie, long takes where it's like, okay, this was obviously planned out. They don't just smash cut to whatever they want you to see. This is a real movie. It's a real movie, and whether it's any good or not, though, is the question. Now, if you're comparing it to some bullshit like 90% of the movies that come out nowadays, like Star Wars, I like, dude, I have been through that so many times. So it's refreshing to see something that's at least a little original, even though it is a retread of a classic story, which is good. I like Shakespeare a lot. Macbeth was great. Saw that with Denzel. But anyway, the thing about this movie, though, there's a lot of period detail. There's some good performances. Nicole Kidman gets one really good scene. Willem Dafoe shows up for a brief cameo. And the guy who plays Skarsgård, right? It's interesting that he's from an acting dynasty out of Sweden, and his brother apparently plays Pennywise in It. So, like, two very different looking motherfuckers. One is just, like, butt ugly, and the other's, like, fucking jacked and ripped, and he's playing a fucking Viking. And the other's, like, a horror movie villain in real life. Like, if you just Google's, I wish I could pull it up, but this is all just a webcam video. Maybe I'll do, because I was thinking of doing more videos about movies that I like, but that's when it gets really, really technical, just the process of shooting it and editing it, and I enjoy it. Editing is my favorite part of this whole YouTube business, but it does take away from my other ventures and my business, which I'm working like a fucking horse. Lube that shit up, boy. Nah, I'm not into horses. But if you like this movie, I will say though, if you like this movie, if you like horses, if you're like into mythical type shit, if you're into like all this, if you're like a nerd or whatever you want to call it, I'm not judging people for their proclivities, sexual or otherwise, but if you like that kind of shit, you're gonna dig this movie. You'll be like, totally metal, bro. It's got a loud ass score. Not for me, but I get it. There's this trippy, psychedelic feel to several scenes that don't really match up, and that was my ultimate problem with the movie. I thought the story was okay, the acting was really good, the camera work was on par, everything technically was good. I felt that it was too much. It didn't need certain scenes where it's like, oh my god, where it's like nothing's really happening, but it's just an extra element. It feels like it's overdressing what should be a simple story for me. Some people are going to dig it. I just thought this movie was too damn long to be a masterpiece or stand out to me even. I think it could have been a great movie. It's not a great movie. It's an okay movie for me. But this is just my opinion. I mean, there's no like objective way to look at somebody's art, but if it's a studio thing, and this is the interesting part, this is my last point about this film, is that Eggers himself has expressed discontent with the process of shoot. He did that whole PR song and dance where he's just like, yeah, it was difficult. I wouldn't do it again, but like this was what I want. This is totally what I wanted, bro. It's like, okay, if you can't say that, then that sounds like a guy who's trying to get funding for his next movie. But at the same time, look, very few directors in Hollywood even think about this type of shit. Very few artists are willing to take chances when it comes to business and when it comes to the box office. And unfortunately, this movie did not do very well at the box office for a number of reasons. You can't win them all, folks, okay? I mean, God, there's like money in a movie. It's like, dude, it's a fucking movie. Like, just go get more credit or whatever you use to make movies. And I want to make movies eventually. That's one of my goals. And so that's the only reason I keep up at all, is just see what the latest trends are in cinema. But like I said, I'm all about the looking back at older movies. I think older movies are vastly more interesting than 99% of the newer shit. There's still some great movies out there. You just gotta dig for them, and you gotta find them, and you have to like literally discover, like Cool Veda's Aida on Hulu. Like I had no idea, because there was so little promotion for it. I'm like, holy shit, this is a real story. This is like this feels visceral, like it's something actually happening to you. Whereas most of these movies, they just press a button, it's just like autopilot story, the same fucking story over and over again. Mary Sue characters, flawless, they have to be flawless. There can never be any real conflict. And they write themselves into these this guy dies, he comes back to life, okay, Iron Man, woohoo! Iron Man dies, James Bond dies, doesn't matter, they'll be back for round 56. So, I don't like that about movies, and I don't know though, this movie, The Northman, yeah, I would give it a 6 out of 10, 5 or a 6. It didn't move me, it didn't do anything for me personally, but it's still a heck of a lot better than the vast majority of movies. So it's got that going for it. If that's the standard, because my bar is so low at this point for modern movies, and I was just so fucking bored, I just needed to go do something. But I shouldn't have been bored. I shouldn't be bored anymore. That's my fucking problem. Because I'm so fucking busy. I just need fucking something to do. Some days I end up... Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Enjoy my latest content, and if you haven't already, go follow me on Instagram. Go click the link to my link tree down below, because that's where all my social media is. So if you have trouble finding me for any reason, hit that link tree. It's a great website, by the way, if you're mass marketing.